little bit doughy. Just kind of a little bit doughy. Just kind of a little bit doughy. Yeah, this answer sucked. Ask this question again.
I love it, man. No, it's honestly it's from the heart, honestly. And
Learning was one of the main goals. You learn that, now you have a sustainable habit that you can keep with you the rest of the way. So offered like structure and a plan for me right away, and I jumped at the opportunity, and yeah, it was great, well worth it. Now, like, make sure I get 10 pull-ups every time, something like that, or like, yeah, motivation was big for me. That's what I gained from that. I had lost probably 10-15 pounds, but the bigger one was I dropped a bunch of fat, and that, so now that I got it in the bank, glad I did it. Do it. Like, it teaches you a lot. Yeah, I'd say if you're on the fence, jump over it already. Just fucking get in there. Oh, well.
So Carter is a 29-year-old sports analyst at ESPN. He's hot on the path for Scott Van Pelt's position. But I'll let him kind of talk about that if he wants to. But anyways, he recently went through the Geronimo Fitness program and wanted to share some results here and some of his feelings of his experiences. So thanks, Carter, for joining here. First question I think I have for you, or I know I have for you, is in the beginning, what were you struggling with kind of the most? What were the thing, what made you really want to jump into the program and say now is the time?
I think a couple things off the top. I think one main one, it offered like structure and a plan for me right away. And so I grew up playing sports kind of all my life, played through college. So I valued physical activity, but I wouldn't really say that I ever had a knowledge or an understanding of what needs to be done to really, I don't know, build composition, to stay steady, lose significant weight, or drop 5 pounds, drop 10 pounds, whatever needed. I would just go for a run here and there, or a circuit video on YouTube, but something that offered kind of structure of how to build a little bit of muscle, how to eat right. Those things were really attractive to me. So I jumped at the opportunity, and it was great. Well worth it. Awesome.
Great to hear. Were there any specific goals that you had in mind? Based off of like where you were at and where you wanted to go? Was there anything that you were just like, man, if I just got this out of it, this is what I was really going for?
Yes. Oh, I think kind of related to the first point, I think learning was one of the main goals. Kind of, just other points of like when you go to the gym, I would just kind of run or do a couple machines previously, but now after going through a couple of different phases of workouts and different kinds of muscle group specific activity, and even eating, the nutrition part, like learning what's needed for, to meet your macros, to meet it each week, and what you need to eat or what you don't need to eat, and how to ride with that. So learning definitely was the big thing. From it.
That's good. Because learning is something that allows you to keep doing it yourself for
right. And changing habits. So once you learn that, now you have a sustainable habit that you can keep with you the rest of the way. So discipline to keep going forward. But once you have it in you, you just gotta keep going.
100%, brother. That's great. And diving into that a little bit, what when you were going through the program, what were what were the things that really provided to you that really moved the needle for you towards your goals?
I think it was a little bit of drive. I don't know. So I think helped a lot with things along the way that probably re-emphasized points that I needed to get to. I don't know. We meet weekly, and that value that brought a lot of value to the table. Kind of, hey, did you have something wrong this week? And, I would say something, and you push me over the edge. And, this answer sucked. Ask this question again.
I love it, man. No, it's honestly, it's from the heart, honestly. And, and I love it. I like to keep the carrot a little bit ahead of you. Like, just keep pushing you a little bit each week. So when you're like, oh, I got this. It's like, well, little bit, 1%, 2%, keep moving in that right direction. So I mean, it's great. It's a great answer. I like it.
Yeah, well, I think that was definitely something, because if you like just sent me the plan for 4 months and then was like, yo, I'll hit you off in April or May, I don't think there would be as much of much gain from it. Like, part of it is checking in, and part of it is, Q&A, or what are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on? And I think that's part of the program. It's not just, hey, on paper, here's, do it. It's part of, like, you know how to do this stuff. I don't. You know how to eat. I don't. So I think that's huge.
You do now, right?
I do. Hey. It's a learning curve. So now that I got in the bank, glad I did it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's great to hear that, like, the accountability that comes with, like, just checking in weekly, and, the discussions, making sure that all your questions are answered and stuff. Because I felt like you did bring some great questions throughout the program.
Yeah.
It showed me that you were really, really dedicated and committed to the process. And in some cases, it actually made me think, like, hey, I need to actually add that back into the program, because it was a great thing that you brought up. So, the coaching and the communication, is something that I really appreciate with, working with you one-on-one. So that's awesome. So, speaking of your results, that you got throughout the program, what would you say, based off of where you were before jumping in, and then, after, a little bit more detail, I guess, specific, add specifics if you want, but what were your biggest results from your standpoint, from your perspective?
Yeah, I think can't avoid the number. So I dropped 10 pounds, 10, 15 pounds, I think. So all my life I've hovered around 175, 180 pounds, and I kind of was just steady there. No real, gains, losses, because I kind of just valued basic, simple physical activity. But I had lost probably 10, 15 pounds, but the bigger one was I dropped a bunch of fat, and that showed me that I was kind of a little bit doughy in areas that were easy to trim. And I think those are just the small changes. I never really thought that I was in a spot to drop a ton of weight or make huge drastic changes. But pushing and discipline to get that 10, 15 pounds was there, but the strength gained from the program, and then the fat loss, I think were huge. Strength gained, it's kind of just like you see it, you're on your own with, like, lifting more weights or getting a stronger band or something. But dropping the fat is kind of you can quantify that pretty easily on the scale. So those are a couple of my big takeaways from it.
Yeah. In terms of, how could you like that, give a little bit more detail into, like, how does that make you feel? Like, being, being stronger and, learning how to eat healthier within your lifestyle. Like, what were some other sort of, like, maybe benefits that you maybe didn't see coming, or, side benefits of it?
Yeah. So one thing, maybe related, unrelated, I think it's like a motivation side that came out. It's like, I did all this work. I worked hard to get here. So now it's like, let's keep doing it. Like, I'm kind of motivated to, hey, like, I know that I can do, 10 pull-ups now. Like, make sure I get 10 pull-ups every time, something like that. Or, like, you don't want to go.
That's freaking awesome, by the way. Like, honestly, like, I remember way back, like, do I even need this pull-up bar? I don't do pull-ups. I'm just like, you do now.
That's just the slow progress. But now it's like, don't let yourself quit and say, like, hey, it's cool today. Like it's motivation. It's added there. And it kind of translates to the eating. It's like, hey, if you had a milkshake last night, let's clean it up for the next couple of days and offset that. But yeah, I think that's kind of motivation was big for me. That's what I gained from that.
Cool. That's awesome to hear. And so if you were, if a friend came to you and said, like, hey, like, based off your experience, I'm thinking about, I was in a similar situation as you, or, I'm looking to improve my health and fitness, thinking about joining the program. What would your advice to them be?
Yeah, well, I'd probably just feel out like how much do they really want it, because you gotta put the work in, but it's well worth it. So if you're committed and ready to do the challenge for 4 months, do it. Like it teaches you a lot, and it from we've touched on a little bit, but eating, physical activity, and just the generic like healthy lifestyle habits that you and the program kind of instilled in us and me throughout the 4 months. So yeah, I'd say if you're on the fence, jump over it already. Just fucking get in there. Oh well.
I love it, man. There it is. I was waiting for you to cut loose at some point. I was like, when is it gonna come? When is it gonna come? All right. So, man, I love that. I love that. It, like your answer was like basically, exactly what I love to hear. Because I love to hear that after that folks felt like it was a worthwhile thing. Not only that they hit their, immediate goal that was right in front of them for like the next, where they wanted to be in the next 3 to 6 months, but then that they feel like they have the tools, tips, strategies to be able to reapply them whenever they, want to jump back in and do it again. They have those skills, and can, integrate them into their lives. So that's good. That's great.
I'll add this too, like the meals, you might think on the surface are like kind of we're eating healthy, but I brought some meals home to my parents, made a few, and they love them, and now they're making those meals themselves.
Really? I didn't hear. I think you told me the first part, but not the second part about them making it themselves.
Yeah, they're making themselves. The one that they love is the sun-dried tomato turkey burgers with sweet mashed.
Oh man, that's a winner. That's a winner, right? Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
The macros are spot on that one. That's a good one. That's a good. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. So
that's a crowd pleaser.
Life is good.
Exactly. When you like the food you're eating, and it's easy to eat healthy, right? So it's great. So that's great. Hey man, thanks, for joining here. Really appreciate you, taking your time just to talk about your experiences. I'm super thrilled that you had an awesome experience, and that like you feel equipped and capable now to really be able to, fly the plane yourself, and continue to improve.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate all the help that you gave to me in those one-on-ones and answering questions, and whenever I had them, random times, 10 o'clock at night during quarantine. Hey, shoot me a quick text. It goes a long way. And obviously the program is littered with knowledge and creativity. So meals, workouts, everything. It's all great. So yeah, thank you.